Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Salsabila Annisa Rohma, and today I would like to tell you about biography. The biography is biography of Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton was born on December 25, 1642 in Woodthorpe, England. His father died before he was born, and when he was only 3, his mother, Hannah Newton, remarried and moved away, leaving him to be raised by an uncle. He was sent to the local grammar school, and for a time it was expected that he would grow up to manage his mother's property. But he nonetheless persisted in the pursuit of his wider interests, and after leaving the grammar school, he enrolled at Trinity College at the University of Cambridge in 1661. He received his Bachelor of Art in 1665 and was named a Fellow of the college 2 years later. Meanwhile, in the turbulent years of 1666, while England fought with Holland and suffered plague and a terrible fire in London, Newton made 3 of his greatest discoveries in the field of optics, the study of light. He developed of profit his theory that white light is composed of a mixture of other colors of light, which when split apart by a prism from a band of color called a spectrum. This was a revolutionary advance, and equally revolutionary was his work in mathematics, where he developed a binomial theorem and worked out a method of calculating the slope of curves and the area under them, paving the way for the field of math known as calculus. But his most important innovation was the concept of gravity, the attraction between bodies and space that holds planets, moons, and comets in orbit, and throws falling objects toward the Earth. His theory of gravity, however, remained incomplete and unverifiable. It would not be published for 2 decades. In 1669, Newton was appointed professor of mathematics at Trinity College. In January 1672, he was elected to the Royal Society, a loose organization of scientists and intellectuals. Shortly thereafter, he presented a paper detailing his discoveries in optics and developed a rivalry with the scientist Robert Hooke, who harshly criticized Newton's research. This rivalry would pursue throughout the 1670s as Newton continued to work out the mathematics of gravity and would flare up in the mid-1680s when Newton finally published his work, some of which Hooke felt had been stolen from him. Newton's research was organized into a 3-volume book, The Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, known to posterity as the Principia. It set forth Newton's 3 laws of motion and produced to set forth the theory of gravity and back it up with rigorous mathematical proof. Although the theory had many detractors at first, the scientific community would ultimately embraced it, and the Newtonian worldview would dominate physics until the 20th century. Principal made Newton an English celebrity. He was elected to Parliament in 1691, and after suffering a nervous breakdown in 1693, was appointed warden of the mint in 1696 and master of the mint 3 years later. He was elected president of the Royal Society in 1703. He was elected president in the Royal Society in 1703. Upon the death of Hooke and was knighted in 1705. As Newton grew, he worked to better his own reputation, bringing the society under his tight control and carrying on a feud with the German mathematician Leibniz over the issue of who had developed calculus first. Newton never married and was tremendous pious. He dedicated his later years to the interpretation of scripture and mainly effort to understand the relationship between biblical prophecy and history. He died on March 20, 1727, and was buried with great honors in Westminster Abbey. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.